in the middle of an election. We have more than one political party here. We have all the levels of government here, parliamentary leadership, executive leadership from the governor's offices, mayoral leadership from throughout Styria. I'm struck by the setting in which we find ourselves in a palace that is many, many hundreds of years old, representing the great power that this country has exercised over almost a millennia in the world. I can imagine that people came here 100 or 200 or 300 years ago and looked up and looked at the lights and marveled at the ingenuity, and looked at the gold paint and marveled at the wealth, looked at the high ceilings and the majestic building and marveled at the engineering power of Austria and of its people. But we come here not to celebrate that power, but to celebrate a different power. Because also here in front of me, you have a member of the Board of Directors of Special Olympics Austria, Charlie Zupan, who has a custom-made jacket on, by the way. Custom-made. Willi Koenig and Nike Herzl, who represent our hope that in this hall, which celebrates the centuries of political and economic and military force, that we will celebrate a different force in 2017. That we will come here to this historic nation and celebrate a games of inclusion, a city and a state of unity, a city that is dedicated to the human and human rights, a city that is dedicated not just to tolerance, but to understanding and peace. And that will be driven not by the power of the military, not by the power of economic wealth, not by the power, even if I dare say it, of political strength, but it will be driven by the power of the heart, by the power of the human spirit, by the power of those who dare to try to prove that they matter, to play with great joy and reckless determination, despite the fact that we must recognize that in all of history, in Europe, these men here represent tens of millions of people who have been discriminated against cruelly in Europe, in the United States, in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, in the Middle East, in the halls of power, all over the world. They have been treated as less valuable citizens, sometimes even as citizens who are not wanted. But they come here to this center of power now to challenge this nation again, to play as a unified nation, to celebrate as a unified nation in the goodness and decency of the human spirit. It is a stunning moment to come here to Styria for the second time, a state of just over 1 million people, but yet that you have hosted now, or will host now, these games for the entire world twice. To come here in this time of economic turmoil and tension, and to see government leaders, we hope corporate leaders in the future, say, yes, these are hard times, but we will commit nonetheless to the power of the Spirit. To come here in this center of sport and to say that the greatest sporting venues in the world are the right venues for the special athletes of Special Olympics. So it is my honor to announce formally to Charlie and to all of his fellow athletes in Austria, to Mark and to all of his fellow staff members, to Hermann, the president of Special, to announce formally to you that the Special Olympics World Winter Games in the year 2017 have been awarded to Schladming and Graz and Styria and Austria. And I congratulate you, and I thank you, and I wish you the power of the Special Olympics movement in executing the best games in the history of our movement. Congratulations.